Louis Scott.
An incarcerated individual at the Folsom State Prison, Folsom, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Well, here we are, another fabulous day at Folsom. Today we got Matt. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Enlighten us. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you to prison?
So my name is Matt Gibbs. I was 32 years old when I got arrested. It was actually my third DUI, but this time I hit and killed a bicyclist, and I actually came out of a blackout, and I was in a jumpsuit. So they told me what I did. But that's why I'm here at Folsom serving a 15 to life sentence.
Let's go back. I don't want to, re-traumatize you, shall I say. But let's go back to that night, right, or that day. What was that like, and what do you remember about that day in particular?
So that day, at the time I was coaching 9 and 10-year-old football, Pop Warner football team. And I woke up and I just did my usual routine, which was waking up, taking a couple drinks, going to work, doing my thing like I always did. But instead of going to practice that afternoon, I ended up drinking heavier than normal, skipped practice, and honestly, it was a blur from there on out, from mid-afternoon on out.
Okay. What do you think, led to the drinking?
So I started running around with a different crowd of guys that I played travel baseball with. Sports was a big thing in my life growing up. I started hanging out with a different group of guys, and I excelled in sports, basketball, baseball, and football. So I received a lot of praise and glory on the field for what I did, for everything I achieved. But off the field, I always wanted to seek acceptance and try to have other people like me, pretty much. That was the moral of the story. Is I just wanted everyone to like me. So no matter what I did, I tried to do the best or go the hardest or whatever. So when it came to drinking, I went from not drinking at all to trying to outdrink everybody, and it just quickly turned into an addiction.
So looking for social acceptance led to the partying, which ultimately led to this, your life crime. And the individual that you killed, what was the significance? What was so hard about that, the public cry for you to come to prison? What was so difficult about that?
So first of all, he was a sergeant in the K-9 unit. And when they told me what neighborhood it happened in, I actually have two close friends that live in that neighborhood who work in the police department. So first thing my thought was that I killed one of my best friends. And then after they told me his name, I recognized his name, and I just got done coaching a 9-year-old softball team, 9-year-old all-star baseball team, and his nephew was on my team. So it just really hit home because before my DUIs and stuff, my buddy's dad's a sheriff at one of the county jails, and I really wanted. I went to college for sociology because that's what I wanted to do. So it just hurt me a lot. Not the fact that I killed someone, but I killed someone that was giving back to this community, that was helping out, that was who I kind of wanted to be when I grew up, that I'd never achieved. So it just really, it was the hardest thing ever, having to swallow the fact that I actually killed somebody.
Well, I look at you every day, and it's like, I see this guy, that, dude, you're the athlete on the yard. Everybody looks at Matt, and it's like, we're in the visiting room at one time, and this lady asked you, she's like, are you someone famous? You remember that, Bob's daughter? And she's like, you look like somebody famous, right? And you have that look, right? So I'm kind of struggling with, why did you need social acceptance from other people when so many people in here follow you and look up to you?
Yeah, just because someone looks a certain way or acts a certain way doesn't mean they got it all together, you know. When I grew up, I went to a private school. My family had money. Everything looked like it was good. It was just, I always, so my parents got divorced when I was 3. And one of the things I still do to this day that I recognize is, for example, I work in the sports department, and I always, no matter who my coach is, I always put him on a pedestal. Even so, the coach here is my boss, but I still put him on a pedestal, and I'll do anything he asks. He asks me to run through the wall. I'm going to do my best to do it. So that's just one of the things. It's I need other people to give me accolades pretty much or I used to need other people to give me the accolades and everything. I used to care what everybody thought no matter what it was, what I did. I thought all eyes were on me, even though that's not the situation. But I always used to think that any small, minor thing that I do wrong, I'm going to be judged for. And that's not the case. It's not everybody's looking at you. Everybody else has their own problems they're trying to deal with. But I always thought all eyes were on me no matter what.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? Being in prison, what we all discover real fast is we're on the wrong side of heaven and the right side of hell, right? So with that being said, it's like, let me ask you this. What would you tell your younger self, having the knowledge and the wisdom and been here for a few years now, what would you tell your younger self to guide you down that different path?
So like when I go to youth diversion, I tell the kids all the time, because I help out in that program here, I tell the kids, all choices have consequences, either good or bad. And our job, our goal in life is just to make more choices that have better consequences at the end of the day. To not be so hard on myself. I always thought that, like I said.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's not the case. All eyes aren't always on you. Like I said, everybody else is struggling with their own problems, and everybody else is trying to get through this tough life we live out here. And not to take everything so serious, but at the end of the day, everything I do, every choice I make today is gonna affect my future, one way or another. So just to try to make more better choices than bad choices.
I like that. And, I also like the fact that, you're willing to share your life experience in the event that this may be helpful to, some other young person that might be looking for social acceptance in the wrong crowd and willing to do those things that they wouldn't normally do, to receive those social accolades and be accepted by the people that really don't matter. As you find out later in life, the people you're looking for social acceptance in, they really don't matter. Because when you stop and look at it, right, how many of those people that you were looking for social acceptance in have come to visit you while you were in prison?
To this day, I got 2 friends that I still talk to out of the handful that I was really close with, but neither of them came to visit. My mom comes up, fortunately, every weekend. I'm very blessed to have that. And no matter what I did, in her eyes, I'm her son, so she's always going to give me the benefit of the doubt. She's always going to be on my team no matter what. So the rest of my family, they come up once in a while, but it's my mom who's still my ride or die on my team. That's always with me. So I should have and could have went to her more often and asked for her help or advice through the things I was.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But I never did. But yeah, that's one thing is I should have went to mom more often.
What is the one thing you want people to take away from this story, from your personal story?
When I was drinking and driving, I was doing that often out there, and I didn't think I was causing any harm because there was never any physical injury. I didn't think I was hurting anybody because of what I was doing out there. And it's the little things that we do that really do cause and harm our families. It's the ripple effect. You know, I didn't know the stress I was putting my family through, my mom through every day, every night that she was struggling with. She said she went through hell for 10 years because of my drinking, and I didn't see that. I didn't see the overall picture. I just saw that, you know, I was hurting myself and myself alone. So the ripple effect is one big thing I learned here and through my self-help group, and just to see the bigger picture, I affected more people than I could count on my hands and toes. So, and that's just not the day that I committed my crime. That was all the years previous to that, is all the people I hurt. So, try to look and see the bigger picture. It's hard if you're in your addiction, but once I sobered up, I started seeing all that stuff, and that's one thing that I try to do is apologize to the people I do talk to. I don't talk to all my friends right now, but when I do get out, that's one thing I will do is make amends with all of them. But yeah, it's just I didn't see all the people I was harming.
You know what? I thank you for sharing that, and I'm hopeful that this story will be able to provide insight to a young man or woman that's going through, you know, what you went through. You know, I just want to say thank you, because, you know, it's like sharing your personal story with the world. You know, there's a level of vulnerability to that, but it also a level of acceptance and accountability. And I just want to say thank you for being you know, and doing the work.
No, thank you for the opportunity. This is something that we can do that we don't see as a big deal, but you never know who's going to reach it, what seed's going to be planted. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Matt. You have a good day, bud. I'll catch you on the yard.
Good day, brother.
Yes, sir.